Looking to improve your life, brush up on your personal growth techniques? You are in the right place. Welcome to Life's Little Lessons with your host, author of Designing Your Own Destiny, Kevin A. Dunlap.
Welcome everybody back to Life's Little Lessons with Kevin Dunlap. Today I have a gentleman that I just met a few months ago, and we are starting to do some business together, and this is a very interesting person. And it's also somebody I feel that everybody should actually be listening to, because he actually works with a law firm. His name is David Kohlmeier. He's the Director of Client Relations and Operations for the Las Vegas Defense Group. David, David, welcome to our show.
Thank you so much for having me on the show. I appreciate that very much.
It's my pleasure, and because I know we've been talking back and forth a little bit about this, and you are dealing with a lot of things on the legal side, and people, you've got some great information that you want to deliver to our listeners, because not everybody really understands what could go wrong with, if they're not being represented by an attorney.
Absolutely.
So, David, let's talk about a little bit about yourself. Who are you, and what is it that you do at the Las Vegas Defense Group?
So basically, my title is Director of Client Relations and Operations. I'm pretty much the liaison between clients that come into the office and to the attorneys that are here at the firm. The firm's name is called Las Vegas Defense Group. Mm-hmm. We actually right now the largest private criminal defense law firm in the state of Nevada. And we also handle personal injury accidents, family law, and immigration cases. And a lot of people that come into the law firm, I'm one of the first persons that they would see in the firm, greeting them, talking with them about their case. I'm personally not giving any type of legal advice. I'm actually, like I said, the liaison between the client and the attorneys that are here for the firm. But I get basic information and so on. What makes me a little bit different is I am a retired police officer. I have 17 years of law enforcement. I actually was a Henderson police officer. I did patrol and community policing, so I've been around the block. I did about 13 years with Henderson Police. I also did approximately 4 years with the New York City Police Department as a patrol officer. So basically with 17 years of experience, I know what the police do. I've been out there on the street. I've been involved in, a lot of accidents, helping people in general. So I have a vast experience of what I would say just being on the street and dealing with people and dealing with problems.
Okay. And could you tell about some of the things that people should be aware of as far as their legal and their rights are concerned? Like, for example, if somebody's getting sued or even on a smaller case. Could you tell us about that?
Yeah, absolutely. So, one of the biggest things I've learned, actually, I've been in the law firm for about 3.5 years now. And what I realized is a lot of people that come in that have problems, they're seeking legal advice, but there's so many people that basically have problems and they're not looking for an attorney. They're not looking for representation. They think they can kind of handle something on their own. Whether someone gets arrested or they get into a car accident, you need an attorney basically to help you through the process. There's tons of paperwork. It's very, very advanced. And a lot of people think sometimes they can handle this on their own. And if they don't know the justice system, whether it's an accident or being arrested for a criminal charge, you just don't know what you're up against. And whether it's a car accident, you should see the amount of paperwork that for somebody that gets into a car accident, whether it's medical records or a lawsuit. There's so much paperwork. Lawyers are very knowledgeable, they're very intelligent, and you need someone basically fighting for you. Our attorneys here basically are very knowledgeable. Their experience they also have, working with the district attorney's office, they know the judges, they know the deputy district attorneys. They know whether it's, if it's a medical provider like a chiropractor office or any of these medical providers, they have experience, they deal with them all the time. So when the attorneys are giving guidance, basically the knowledge and experience is really important to help, get through their specific case or their problem.
Okay, and I see in some of our notes here that say if you've been arrested, you say you need to seal your record. Could you tell us what that means?
One of the big things is people basically when they get arrested in general, whether it's a DUI, domestic battery, a lot of people think oh, I'll never get arrested, or they think of a criminal defense law firm as that, people that are robbing banks and so on. Most people that come into this firm, basically it's DUI, it's domestic battery, it's petty larceny, a lot of lower level misdemeanor charges. But what happens is most people don't know when they get arrested is that they have a record. Even though it's not a conviction, once the case is resolved, you basically need to seal your record so people don't know that you basically were arrested. It's kind of giving you like a second chance. If you seal the record, they're legally allowed to basically state that they have never been arrested. So you seal the record, and it normally takes maybe about 8 to 12 months to seal a record by using an attorney. And then when it comes down for a job application, they can legally check off, no, I've never been arrested. So what happens is, like most people that are looking for jobs or employment, they have to, they realize they made a mistake with a DUI or domestic battery or something happened to them. So legally, with the record seal, they could legally say, I've never been arrested legally. And that's important because people want to get a job. If someone came into my law office or even a McDonald's and they basically had a criminal record, I would think twice about hiring them, which is kind of, bad. People, make a mistake and you want to give them a second chance. But by knowing they have a criminal record, even one simple case could prevent them from gaining employment.
And how far back should you go on something like that?
Basically, it goes back as long as it's on your record. Every state's a little bit different, but in this state, it depends upon like what you're arrested for specifically and when you can seal the record. Like if it's a felony or gross misdemeanor charge, it could be 5 or 7 years that you would have to wait to seal the record. If it's basically a misdemeanor and you're convicted, you would have to wait 2 years to seal your record. So if the case is actually automatically dismissed, then you could seal your record right away, though it takes, probably 8 to 12 months to seal the record. So it just depends upon what your situation is. But sealing the record is really important. And the other thing which most people don't know, my police experience basically would share with you, is that when most officers stop people on the street or in their home, most officers are going to run their name and they're going to see that they have a prior criminal history. And most officers, because of the job, it's a lot of negativity, they're going to be tainted with that criminal information, the criminal profile, the what we call scope record. And officers will think in their mind that, hey, the person's been arrested for DUI before, they're probably drinking and driving again right today. Or, they were arrested for domestic battery and they go out to a scene where the husband and wife got into a verbal fight. In the mind, the officer's thinking, hey, one of them hit each other because there's been prior history. So when you basically do the record seal, it doesn't show up in their scope record. So most likely officers are not going to investigate the case a little bit further. And I do believe that if you don't seal your record, you're statistically more likely to get rearrested or to even get a ticket. If an officer sees a clean person with no record, doesn't have any criminal history, never received any tickets, it's more likely an officer is going to be discretionary and basically just say, I'm going to give you a warning, I'm going to give you a break. But once you have a little bit of criminal history on your record, on your scope record, officers will, sad to say, be a little bit tainted because they know that something in the past lingers and they're going to use that, the previous case as a way to articulate that most likely something did happen in this particular case, there's a prior charge, and they're more likely to articulate that the person should be rearrested for a new crime.
Now, would this even including moving violations and things like that?
Yeah, even in a traffic violation, in my police experience, I would pull someone over and they have multiple traffic charges. And if you were the police officer, what would you do? If you see, 10 citations, would you give a warning to the person, or would you be like, what, give them a citation? So, the whole point with the traffic citations is to change people's behavior driving, which is understandable. We need the police out there specifically to, decrease accidents, decrease, car accidents that are creating probably most of the deaths in Las Vegas, specifically in Clark County. But the bottom line is, no one wants to get a ticket. They don't want points on their license and so on. But when an officer pulls somebody over, they're going to see that, they have multiple citations. So, officers have a discretion whether they give a ticket or not, or give a warning. So by not having it on your record helps the situation. The cleaner you are, the better you are in general.
Okay. And because I know what in the past I've known people, and even including myself, that maybe have gotten a speeding ticket or turned right on a red light that you're not supposed to, something, a small traffic violation. And you say even seeing an attorney about having that be moved into a parking violation.
A lot of times, basically, attorneys are able to set up attorney sessions to go to court and try to negotiate the case. Every case at the Las Vegas Defense Group, they try to get the case either reduced, dismissed, or dropped. Every case is different depending upon the evidence. And of course, they're going to work as hard as possible to get the best result. Every case is different, so it depends what the person did specifically. But the bottom line is that you definitely need representation. But you going down, you have no clue of the system. Even myself as a police officer, I would go down to testify, but I wasn't really part of the justice system of, negotiations of cases and so on, or, I wasn't a district attorney. So, they have their own rules or their ways of strategies to negotiate things, because the justice system, you can't take every case to trial. You would need a lot more attorneys, and the whole justice system would basically be brought down if everybody took something to trial. So the goal is to have an attorney to represent you, to make sure that your rights are protected and to probably get the best possible result. And one thing I'll share with people all the time is there's a mutual respect. The district attorney's office are lawyers. And, and my attorneys at the Las Vegas Defense Group are attorneys. And there is a respect that this basically lawyers versus lawyers, but there is a mutual respect for the profession. Just like as myself, as a prior law enforcement officer, if I met with another officer, we have a rapport. We were both officers. So the bottom line is you're having someone on a professional level, handle your situation and also explain your side of the story. Because, what happens if you weren't feeling good or if you have a stomach problem and you were speeding home a little bit to go to the bathroom? People have problems, people have issues. So the lawyers here get to explain, your side of the story.
Okay. What would you say to somebody that has some of these minor violations and they just went there and just paid it, like just noted the check? Would you even advise that? Or,
most people, I do see people that they basically just want to pay the citation in general, but I think no matter what, you're going to get a better result by having an attorney to go down and represent you. Because you just, if you can get down to a parking ticket or something like that, that would be great. It's just going to help your situation, especially with all these tickets. Eventually I think it's about 10 to 12 points based on your license, that your license will be suspended. So if you have all these tickets and all these points, you lose your license. Also, your insurance is going to go up drastically. So whatever we can do to basically help, negotiate the ticket is to a way of decreasing your insurance going up, or even insurance basically denying you for future coverage because, you have a bunch of tickets, you have a bunch of points. So in the long run, there is the, money you're going to spend on insurance, and they can even deny you for, renewing your insurance policy.
And that's only for the state of Nevada that you're talking about, correct?
Well, I think in all states, basically, every state with the DMV, there's going to be a certain amount of points that if you get, you're going to lose your license or suspend the license. But every state has a certain amount of points for that. And then insurance, the same thing. Every state's different in regards to insurance, but I was from New York City. It was the same thing. If you had a bunch of points, you could lose your license, and also your insurance was going to go up. I even think with 1 or 2 points, my insurance would personally go up if I got a ticket. So to me, why even play with that? If you can have someone go to court on your behalf. Now, fortunately, at our firm, Las Vegas Defense Group, we actually have a program. We do free ticket representation. We are kind of giving back and helping people. So at least with our firm, if you call our firm and come in, mention, even us speaking today in this particular podcast, that we would handle a ticket for free. Of course, we don't want a person going 200 miles per hour, but every case is a little bit different. But the bottom line is we will help people for free in regards to a ticket in this state of Nevada, specifically Southern Nevada, and we will go to court on their behalf. We are trying to give back and trying to help people. Of course, we don't want people to speed around and create violations, but the bottom line is we also want to help people because we feel the process is somewhat difficult. We don't want insurance to go up, but we also want people to learn a lesson. We don't want them, we want them to wear seatbelts. I always laugh sometimes when I deal with a lot of younger juveniles when they meet with the attorneys. Sometimes we're able to negotiate, favorable results, but I still kind of personally, the police officer side kicks in a little bit and says, hey, listen, you can't keep doing this. Eventually, you're not going to get, be so lucky in the future. You will wind up doing some jail time in the future. You will hurt yourself or hurt others. So I give a little bit of a tough love speech in general, when I'm involved with some of the cases with the attorneys. But we will help people if they have a ticket and they need some help. So, they can always call 702 Defense, which is our main office number. Some attorneys will charge fees because their time is valuable. Luckily, we're the largest criminal defense private law firm in the state. So we have several attorneys that basically will handle this type of cases to help people, kind of give them back a little bit. But like I said, we want to make sure people are driving safely too.
Right. Because there's a lot of people out there that have a negative stigma toward the police officers, and just in general. And I do want to say I applaud that I know many times you are putting your lives on the line in these situations, especially even in the domestic dispute situations. But I think a lot of people don't really understand the police are out there to actually help and, like you said, save lives. Yes, they pulled you over for doing 20 miles an hour over the speed limit. Well, there's a reason that you're doing that, or reckless driving or something along those lines. So that is just to maintain the.
One thing I'll share with you in regards to the ticket situation, most people, it's not like the shootings or the major things that happen in town. Most people are dying because of car accidents, and, people are texting on their cell phone and so on. Even myself included, I'm not the perfect person. I've texted before, I've been on the phone. It's not the proper thing to do whatsoever. You can cause an accident. You have kids and stuff like that's out there. So we need to kind of change our behavior. The iPhone, the Android has kind of taken over, our bodies, and we're so addicted to the phone. We really need to stop it. But I mean, the truth is people are texting and on the phone all the time, and it's a distraction. But more people are dying in Clark County because of being on the cell phone than anything else, compared to robberies or, any major crime. So, I mean, the goal is for people to drive safely and to not text and not to be on the phone, including myself. Like I said, we all make mistakes, but we have to realize that, you can kill somebody. The car is a deadly weapon, especially if you're not looking, you turn the wrong corner, you're not paying attention. So, we want everybody, to drive safely.
And that's good. And that is a good reminder of what I see a lot of people doing. I mean, you see them driving and their eyes are down. I mean, it's so obvious that
Yeah, no, absolutely.
they're looking at their phone, even though if they were even just reading the text message, it's still, your eyes are still being distracted. So,
Yeah.
Now, also in our notes here, you said something about if you are actually in a car accident, you should take photos and video of the actual incident that occurred.
Yeah, absolutely. Basically, what I noticed, even like my brother-in-law got into a car accident recently, and he had a photo actually of one of the drivers in the car. The driver actually stated that he wasn't in the car, like he wasn't the driver, and he had some pictures. The pictures weren't even that great, but I mean, if you get into a car accident, as long as it's safe to do so, take pictures of the car, both cars, of the damage. I would actually even take out the video, the video on your iPhone or Android, and record basically the location, the scene, maybe take a photo or video of the person, kind of indiscreetly, because sometimes people get upset with that. But even pictures of the driver's license, insurance card, registration. When people get into a car accident, people are upset and they're emotionally involved in the whole car accident situation. People are going to get upset, like, can I have your driver's license? So they may get mad with you. I mean, you got to be nice and cooperative, especially if you're not injured, because basically you want to get your car repaired and fixed and so on. But if you're injured, you should wait, call 911, call the police, have them come out, take a report. If you're injured, wait for the ambulance to show up, don't move around, is basically just common practice in regards to an accident. And then once you get all the information, again, you can contact the attorney or even the Las Vegas Defense Group, and basically we can, start working on the accident, representing you, whether it's insurance companies. I noticed recently, actually, someone the other day mentioned they got into an accident. Insurance company called them up real quickly and said, look, I'll give you $500. Can you just sign off on this paperwork, just so that we're not liable for anything else in the future? So a lot of insurance companies are very quick to have you sign off, but you could have a lot of damage. I mean, you could have your back, your neck and back could be sore. You basically may need some treatment. You may need to go to the emergency room or a medical provider. So the biggest thing really is call the police, get an accident report, take some photos and video. Basically, like I said, call an attorney or call the Las Vegas Defense Group and basically ask for representation. One thing that's really interesting and most people do not know is that when you get into a car accident, by using an attorney, it's not costing you any money up front. So there's no reason why anyone should not be going to an attorney, because you're basically signing that you're going to be represented by an attorney. So if you come into
this is a personal injury attorney.
Yeah, for personal injury. So if you were arrested or got a ticket for criminal defense, you are paying possibly a fee for legal services. But basically, if you got into a car accident, then you're basically signing up with a law firm. But basically, it's not costing you money out of pocket. You're signing for representation. Eventually, if the attorney wins the settlement, you get better, you feel better. The attorney basically will get legal fees. But the bottom line is, in the beginning, it doesn't cost you money any out of pocket. So there's no reason why you wouldn't get with an attorney, to get representation for a car accident. And the lawyer is going to basically make sure that, you're represented well and make sure that your rights are protected, that you basically get the right medical attention that you need. And most law firms basically have medical providers that they work with, even if you don't even have insurance. They work with medical providers that accept something called a lien. Basically, they'll work on you as they know that there's a accident and a case that's being pursued by an attorney on your behalf. So the biggest thing is getting better. It's not just about the money situation. We want people to feel better if they are injured, if there is negligence from somebody, another driver, texting on their phone. People need to get back to work. So if you need a doctor and you need medical providers to help you get better. So the attorneys here, will basically help represent you throughout the course of the accident or as someone gets better, which could take 6 months or a year, or if not longer.
Okay, because I have a question then. About 3 or 4 years ago, I was making a left turn at a red light, and I was stopped because I was like the fourth car in line. And then all of a sudden I get rear-ended. And I mean, I wasn't injured, but what it was a vehicle hit the car behind me, which pushed them into me. And so I wasn't injured. My back bumper was injured, something like that. Something like that. I mean, we did call the police. The police did come up and they got the third car as being in fault, because there was two stationary cars. Should I have gotten an attorney on something like that, or just because I wasn't personally injured?
Well, a lot of people get into an accident. I mean, no matter, we would help people here at our firm. Some firms maybe be a little busy, or they wouldn't want to go the extra mile. At our firm, if there's just property damage, because you deal with insurance companies and most people are knowledgeable, we would make a phone call, on your behalf if you wanted that, just because we want to help you through the process. A lot of people get into a small accident, but then a few days later, they realize that their back hurts or something hurts with them. So a lot of times, I basically, no matter what, get with an attorney in general, because again, if you have issues a few days later and you're not represented, then basically it's going to kind of hurt your case. At least that if we basically start the case and you're not injured, then the case gets closed out. But the bottom line is, I think that anybody should have representation. A lot of times the insurance companies don't want to pay, or, I mean, like I said, a lot of people, these insurance companies will want you to deal with their specific like body shop. And, sometimes they use aftermarket parts and stuff like that. So you want to make sure that you're getting like, maybe if you have a BMW, you want the BMW bumper to be put on, not some aftermarket bumper, from some unknown country, be placed on your bumper. So you want to make sure your car is being placed back to the way it should be. So I think no matter what, you should always have representation. Of course, you always want to follow your insurance agent's advice and maybe call your insurance company. But again, what happens if you're not feeling well a week later or a month later or something like that? It pays to be more protected by having an attorney represent you.
Well, because it could be that the accident was not the procuring cause of the issue. It could be that you slipped or something like that. So, so I understand why you definitely want to call the attorney ASAP, because it could be another issue. Okay, well, David, how, if they wanted to get a hold of you? I know you already mentioned the telephone number. Is there like a website, or how can they get a hold of you?
Yeah, so basically, the Las Vegas Defense Group, you can Google it. We're all over the web in general. We have about 700 YouTube videos. The one thing that's really big at our firm, which I think is amazing, we have over 700 YouTube videos. We have over 1 million views. And if there's a specific topic, like if you got bit by a dog, or you got into a car accident, you got arrested, or a family member is being deported, or you're going through a divorce, we have these educational videos online.
Okay.
That talk about every single possible thing out there in general. Basically, whether it's a criminal charge or whether an accident. I mean, try Googling, that you got bit by a dog and you need an attorney, will pop up. A lot of police officers, believe it or not, district attorney's office and other lawyers actually use our website. The website is 702defense.com, which is also a phone number. It's a vanity number, 702defense. Also, you can do LasVegasDefenseGroup.com. And 702 Defense is our main number. We're 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. And the main number, when you spell it out, is 702-333-3673. And the one thing I'll share with you, which is actually great, kind of exciting news for the law firm, which I'm really kind of proud of, is that our law firm now, as of this last Saturday, we are currently open 7 days a week, which people think is absolutely crazy for a law firm. But because it's Vegas, and because of the tourism, and because people get into accidents, we are basically now open 7 days a week, that someone can come in here. They can meet with an attorney and basically go over their case, and they can take action right away. And the one thing I urge people all the time is that most people in life never take action. And no matter what you're doing in life, you just got to take some type of action. So, I mean, God forbid you got arrested, or you got a ticket, or you got into an accident, or something happened to you, you should go see an attorney. At our firm, we do free consultations. We do free strategy sessions. And basically, if you want to use the law firm, we always work with people. Money for legal services is not our number one thing. We want to help people. We want to basically, get people through their situation and help them, just help them, to get through, whatever the situation may be. People come in all the time, ask all kinds of questions and concerns. They don't know where to go. A lot of people don't want to call the police. They don't want to call 911. So, our doors are always open 7 days a week, so someone can come in here. We're just off the strip. We're actually Sahara and Richfield, which is, the address is 2970 West Sahara. And we're actually, the building says Las Vegas Defense Group. There's a huge billboard that's on the street with a big arrow. So
It's
it'll
hard to
be
miss
to
you.
find us.
Yeah, what about people that would say that happen to be tourists and something happened?
So we have it a lot over the weekend. A lot of Friday, Saturday night, we get these phone calls that people in a club or something happened, they got into an accident. If they call us, we call people back. I mean, the case managers and the attorneys, we get text messages 24/7. We get emails. We're very responsive. I mean, I speak to people at 3 o'clock in the morning. I'm in my PJs talking to people. And the bottom line is, we try to help them through the process. We get an attorney on the phone. We try to get them into our office as quick as possible. If we have to send a car service, an Uber or Lyft to go pick someone up, or we've sent limos to pick people up. Believe it or not, this town it's actually pretty reasonable, Las Vegas, to send a limo. But we basically have transportation provided because we want to take action very quickly with people. So we want to help them, and whatever we're going to do to get them into our office as quick as possible, we can start working on their particular problem or their situation.
Wow. So so it sounds like you cover it all. So anything that happens here in Las Vegas, or Las Vegas and Henderson areas, you can help them out regardless if they're locals, they're tourists, or visitors, what have you. So this is wonderful.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I'm actually very proud to be with the Las Vegas Defense Group. Like I said, even law enforcement for 17 years, it's like my second career, and it's a great place. Michael Becker and Neil Schaus are the main managing partner attorneys for the firm. They're great people in general. They really care about people. They want to go the extra mile. I'm fortunate to be here, and I'd be more than happy to help anybody, by being the liaison between anybody out there and basically attorneys. We have a group of attorneys basically working 7 days a week. So it's like, why not take advantage of it? We do free consultations, free strategy sessions. So whatever I can do, I'm almost 24/7 myself. So if they call 702 Defense, we'll definitely help them out.
Oh, well, fantastic. Well, you guys, you heard it directly from David Kohlmeier here. If you want to start watching some educational videos, just go to their website at 702defense.com or even the Las Vegas Defense Group.com, and you can watch some of these training videos, because these educational videos, because you may not realize that you may have a case on something, and these educational videos, I think, would be a great source to research. And if you want to reach out to David or some of his other people, you just go and give them a call at 702 Defense. It's at 702-DEFENSE, which spells 333-3673. As you.
Awesome.
And any last words that you have for our guests here, David?
No, I think we kind of covered it all. I mean, like I said, we're 24/7. We definitely want to help people, and if there's a problem out there, we want to reach out and bring people in as quick as possible to start working on it. So I'd be more than happy to help anyone that's out there. So my door's always open. They can text me. They can call me. Actually, one thing I'll provide for you right now is I'll even give you my personal cell phone. So basically, if someone wants to text me, it's 702-400-7474. It's an easy number, 702-400-7474. If people want to text me or they want to call me, whatever I can do to help. Again, I'm not the attorney. I'm basically, director of client relations. I'm a liaison between people that are out there that are new customers that come in with the attorneys. The attorneys are the ones that give all the legal advice, to do all the legal work. Of course, my police experience and background, I try to use to help people. There's a lot of programs that are out there that some of the attorneys don't know about with regards to helping people, like self-improvement seminars, or even United Way, 211. Most people don't know that basically it's a 24/7 referral service. And basically, if someone needed diapers at 3 o'clock in the morning because they lost their job, they lost their house, 211 through United Way basically helps people with all different referrals for resources. People have no money. I'm not sure did you know about United Way?
I did not know that part about the United Way. No.
If anyone calls 211 from a phone, basically it goes to United Way, and they'll start asking questions. Whatever your need is. Let's say you're homeless, or you're homeless, you need a shower. They'll tell you where to go. They'll say it's Catholic Charities, or they'll say it's whatever different nonprofit organizations. They kind of keep a list of ongoing daily of who's providing services for people. And there's a lot of people that have some bad luck or need some help. And I've used it as a police officer in Henderson. And actually, I try to educate my staff here and even the attorneys that if someone needs something that's unusual or they need some help, we basically refer them to United Way, which I think is the main Southern Nevada referral source these days. Instead of having like a list of all these different organizations, 211 now is available. Most people don't even know about it, but it's been around a long time.
Wow. I must admit, I did not know about it either. I've seen those signs for Safe House, which is for kids or women, I think, with small children, that that are basically homeless. I've seen those, but I did not know about United Way.
The last thing I'll say is what will be funny is that if you have a police problem, of course, you call 911. 311 is non-emergency, which is police, which is wherever you live, whether it's Vegas or Henderson or North Las Vegas. 211 is United Way, which is the nonprofit helping people with referral services. And then, God forbid, if you need help, with us doing free consultations and strategy sessions, you can call 702 Defense. So basically, those are the best numbers probably to have. If you want to save that in your phone, and if you need help, you can call any of those numbers.
Well, thank you for sharing that. I did not know about. I did know about the 311, and of course, everybody knows about 911 for emergency only.
Of course.
And but the 211 and the reminder of the non-emergency, the 311, like you said, like a fender bender or something like that, where somebody doesn't need to go to the hospital. I definitely got that. Well, David, I do want to say thank you for being on our show and the new format of our show. You're our first person that's doing that. So I do want to say thank you. And it was a great pleasure learning about what 702 Defense does, or the Las Vegas Defense Group, what they do. And it sounds like you guys got some great stuff going on there. And the fact that you're now open 24/7 that's amazing. That they can get.
Well, I appreciate you having me on the show.
Yeah. Well, everybody, this is David Kohlmeier with the Las Vegas Defense Group. And for those of you that are needing more information, you can go to his 702defense.com. And for those of you out there that are also looking to help build and grow your businesses, go ahead and go to my website at www.kevinadunlap.com. So, David, thank you for being on the show today.
Thanks. Have a good one.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Thanks so much for listening to this episode of Life's Little Lessons with your host, author of Designing Your Own Destiny, Kevin A. Dunlap. For more great content and to stay up to date, visit kevinadunlap.com, facebook.com/kevinadunlap.author, and on Twitter @KevinADunlap. We'll catch you on the next episode of Life's Little